Italy, a land of art, culture, and some of the world's best food. But behind all the beauty and history is an economy grappling with a crisis of identity. Think of Italy like an aging rock star, once topping the global charts, but now struggling to stay relevant in a fast-changing world. It's been through highs that other countries dream of, and lows that would make any economist break out in a cold sweat. But despite all its challenges, debt, aging workers, and a shrinking talent pool, Italy still holds on to its title as one of Europe's largest economies. But how did we get here? How did a country once at the top of the economic game end up in such a precarious position? Let's rewind to 2008. The global financial crisis hits, and Italy's economy, already on shaky ground, gets knocked off balance. But here's the twist. It wasn't just 2008 that sent Italy spiraling. The seeds of this economic turmoil were planted long before. And if we really want to understand what's happening today, we need to dig deeper into Italy's past. Italy's story is one of extremes. At its peak in the 1980s, it was a global manufacturing powerhouse. Imagine this. Italy tripled its economic output in just 7 years. 7 years. That's unheard of. The country's industries were firing on all cylinders, from fast cars to high fashion. It was the golden age of Made in Italy, and the world couldn't get enough of Italian craftsmanship. But, like a roller coaster, what goes up must come down. And when Italy came down, it came down hard. By the 1990s, the Italian government was drowning in debt. Tax evasion was so common that it became almost a cultural quirk, and the country's reliance on the informal economy meant that large chunks of economic activity weren't being taxed or regulated. Italy had become an economic paradox. On one hand, it was home to some of the most sought-after goods in the world. On the other, it was a mess of inefficiency, corruption, and structural issues that no one seemed able to fix. Now let's zoom in on one of Italy's core economic flaws, its business structure. Unlike Germany or France, Italy's businesses are tiny. The average Italian company employs just 3.6 workers. Let that sink in for a second. In a global economy where efficiency and scale matter more than ever, Italy's companies are operating like small family-run shops. Don't get me wrong, there's a certain charm to that. But charm doesn't win in a race against highly industrialized, tech-driven global giants. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. This leads us to one of Italy's biggest missed opportunities: technology. While much of the world has embraced the digital revolution, Italy's businesses have been slow to adapt. We're talking about an economy still relying on old-school methods in a world dominated by AI, automation, and big data. Imagine trying to run a modern-day economy with a rotary phone. Sure, it might still work, but it's far from ideal. This technological gap has left Italy's businesses struggling to keep up, unable to compete with more modernized economies. But what about Italy's crown jewel, the Made in Italy brand? It's true, Italian goods still command a premium worldwide. Whether it's a Ferrari or a bottle of olive oil, the world is willing to pay top dollar for Italian craftsmanship. But here's the issue. That alone isn't enough anymore. Italy can't just coast on its reputation. Countries like Germany and France have found a way to blend high-quality production with cutting-edge technology. Italy, on the other hand, is trying to maintain its luxurious image while lagging behind in innovation. Now let's address Italy's demographic dilemma. Italy is one of the oldest countries in Europe, and that's not just about the ruins of Rome. Its population is aging rapidly, and with a low birth rate, the country is facing a serious workforce shortage. To make matters worse, Italy's young people, those who are supposed to be the future of the economy, are leaving in droves. They're packing their bags and heading off to countries like Germany or the Netherlands, where the job prospects and salaries are far more appealing. Why is this happening? Well, it's simple. Italy's economy isn't growing fast enough to create opportunities for its young workers, and those who do manage to find jobs aren't being paid enough to keep them around. So Italy is left with an aging population that needs pensions and healthcare, but a shrinking workforce that can't support those demands. It's like trying to bail water out of a sinking ship with a leaky bucket. Let's not forget about the infamous black market. At one point, it accounted for a staggering 25% of Italy's economy. That's a quarter of the country's economic activity happening outside of government oversight. Today, it's down to around 12%, which is an improvement, but still a massive drag on the economy. Why does this matter? Because Italy desperately needs tax revenues to pay down its enormous debt, fund public services, and invest in the future. But when so much of the economy is off the books, it's like trying to fill a pool with a hole in the bottom. So, where does Italy go from here? Can it claw its way out of this economic quagmire? Or is it destined to remain stuck in a cycle of stagnation? If history is any guide, Italy is a master of reinvention. It's bounced back before, and it might just do it again. But here's the catch: it won't be easy. Italy needs to embrace the future, invest in technology, and create an environment where its young people want to stay and build their lives. The days of relying on craftsmanship alone are over. The world has changed, and Italy needs to change with it. But the real question remains: can Italy do it again? If history is any guide, it's possible. But the challenges it faces now, debt, demographic decline, shrinking industries, are different from anything it's seen before. The stakes are higher, and the global competition is fiercer than ever. Italy has a choice: adapt, innovate, and grow, or risk falling further behind. Only time will tell if it's up for the challenge. Before we wrap up, if you want to dive deeper into how countries like Japan have tackled their own economic challenges, check out our video on Japan's economic secrets. You'll be surprised at what you'll learn about how Japan navigated its own ups and downs, and it might just offer some clues about Italy's future.